Hello.
Hello, Hare Krishna. Yes, we can
Hare
hear you.
Krishna.
Hare
Now
Krishna.
I can hear. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mm.
Couple more
Yeah.
minutes before we get 5 o'clock, and we'll start then. We'll do a quick introduction. All the devotees, I got nice devotees here coming in the temple.
So it is in the temple in person also.
Yes, both Zoom as well as in person.
So you're in temple right now.
Yes, yeah.
So for next Saturday I will try to come. Yeah, in
Okay,
person.
you live local, are you local?
Yeah, I'm local. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, do come in person, sometimes more interactive.
Yeah.
Okay. You live in Coolston as well, or
Yes, I live in Coolston.
Coolston? Okay. Right. So we'll just one more minute and then we'll kick off. Drop a message to the group also. Okay, so wait a minute. The first session, so we have to give people maybe a few more minutes. The first session, they will become, yeah. Hare Krishna, Subhashi, Hare Krishna. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. We can see you as horizontal.
Okay, do you mean to put it the other way around? I'm just struggling with my...
Yes. Unless you want to stay in that position for an hour.
No. I don't mind. I'm sitting at a desk, so it's not... It may be literally...
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we'll start now as others will join. So Hare Krishna, everyone. I got Nitinji with me, Ruchi and Supriya Mataji here in the at the temple. So what we'll do before we start, we'll do just a quick round of introduction, so that we know who we are, because we're going to go on a journey and together, wonderful journey. So it will be good to know each other. So I got with me, I will just move the camera around. You can see. So maybe start with Nitin Prabhu.
मेरा नाम नितिन माहेश्वरी है। यूके में करीब 20-22 साल से रहता हूँ। बच्चों का डॉक्टर हूँ। 3 बेटियां हैं और 1 वाइफ है। और गीता के बारे में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं पता, तो इसलिए सीखने के लिए आया।
Very good, very nice summary. Ruchi is my wife. So and Supriya Mataji, would you like to say something about you?
प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा। मेरा नाम सुप्रिया कामत है और मैं यहाँ 50 साल से रह रही हूँ और बहुत सारा सीखने की जिज्ञासा है, इसलिए मैं यहाँ आई हूँ।
Yeah, we'll now go to the Zoom attendees, starting with Subhash Prabhuji.
Hello, pranam sabko. Mera naam Subhash Pau hai, and I am searching for spiritual awareness, guidance. Looking forward to listening and understanding more about our spirituality journey and where we're going, and trying to understand who I am.
Very nice. Such a nice thought and effort. Right. And next is Meenakshi ji.
नमस्कार, हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
मेरा नाम मीनाक्षी है और मुझे बहुत सालों से, 1 साल से मेरा बड़ा मन कर रहा था कि मैं भगवत गीता सीखूं। तो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस बहुत जगह हो रही थी, हर एक जगह, लेकिन टाइमिंग्स कभी सूट नहीं हो रही थी। लेकिन ये हमारा सौभाग्य है, हमारे मंदिर में हो रहा है। होपफुली इस बार मैं अपना ये जो मेरी अभिलाषा है कंप्लीट करूं।
Very nice. So Krishna listens to everyone. I think your desire has been fulfilled. That's such a nice desire. We got few more attendees now joining. So we're just doing a quick round of introduction. So we'll keep doing it later on, because I hope there will be few more new attendees in the next session. I got Pushkar. He's my son. He's a Zoom coordinator to help you if you have any issues. He has also put a text in the chat. If you have any question which you want to ask and don't want to disrupt the flow of the class, you can type in the chat. Pushkar will pick it up. And at the end of the class, when we have a Q&A session, he will repeat your question, and then we can, have a bit more interactive session then. Next I see on my screen is Anil ji. What we're doing, just a quick round of introduction, your name, your location, and your purpose to attend this class. What are you trying to get out of this class? Yeah.
I'm Anil Idnani. I actually would have come to the Mandir, but I've not been feeling too well. So actually I only live 5 minutes away from there. I'm also treasurer of the Mandir. And my purpose for coming to the class is really to get a deeper understanding of the Bhagavad Gita and the messages that are contained within it to help live life better.
Wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. And then we got, who else will have with Pankaji, yeah? Pankaji, yeah? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So I've joined this class to again learn about Bhagavad Gita, but one of the purpose of me joining here is to ensure I motivate myself to at least finish Bhagavad Gita once in my lifetime. I have tried many times, read few chapters here and there, verses here and there, but never finished it. So I definitely want the blessings of Krishna to let me finish this once. And of course, read it again, maybe to have better understanding, but that's one objective, to definitely finish this once. And would encourage my daughter to join, but again, she's out just now for another class, but she will join in between. So that's another thing. And I'm based in Midlands. I used to live in Croydon. I shifted to Birmingham.
Right.
But still want to be part of this class so that I motivate myself to finish it. So Hare Krishna.
Very nice. And I'm pretty sure this time we'll have such a nice association of devotees. You won't be able to get out without finishing Bhagavad Gita. And maybe a few more scriptures, which will, if Krishna blesses us, which will doing reading together, understanding together. Next I got on my screen is Alka ji. So quick round of introduction, name, location, and purpose of attending the classes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'm Alka, live in New Malden. So I joined your last class in the middle when you have already started, but I was a bit confused, so just wanted to start something from the beginning, so it's more clear to me.
Yeah, that's right. I think you don't want to miss such a beautiful scripture.
That's right.
Next is Nalini ji. Your name, location, purpose.
From South Croydon. My husband's vulnerable. That's why I don't want to come in the crowd.
Fine.
Summertime, I'll be joining in person.
Okay.
But I've got my 2 grandsons and my daughter with me. So there's 4 of us.
Oh, wonderful. Such a nice
Let me put the video.
Yeah, please
Show
do.
the video.
Everyone wants to see you, and it makes a big difference. Oh, good, wonderful.
Can you show your faces?
Oh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Such a nice family, smiling. It's good. And finally, we got Binduji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Ji. I live in Red Hill. I was working today, so just finished and I'm joining. My daughter's also around.
Okay.
I have read a very little bit of Gita when during childhood days, but never completed it. So probably I'm reading the child version to my daughter. So that's one thing which I've managed to complete. But would like to really delve deep with your expertise and knowledge into Gita.
I think we got a lot of people, devotees who have read Bhagavad Gita. So it will be nice to, hear from them what they have learned so far as well. No pressure, no quizzes. Don't worry. Next, we got Hardika Hansa Kotecha. Can you hear us? No. And then we got Diagnostics IP, iPhone. Hare Krishna. I think you have not put your name down. It's just coming random title. You want to, can you hear us first of all?
Mute.
You are on mute if you are talking. Okay, we can't hear Hardika and Diagnostics. So we'll kick off now. So we'll start the session now. Just to give you a bit of format. Initially, we do the prayers to our Acharyas and Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani. Wonderful prayers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then it's first session. So we'll do an introduction of Bhagavad Gita, how it has come to us. And there's some beautiful, very amazing facts about Bhagavad Gita I will share. Okay, so I will share some slides now so that you can get used to reciting some of the prayers. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah, you can see it?
Not yet. Yes.
Should be coming up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So before we read any scriptures, as an etiquette, we have to pray to our spiritual masters and Lord, so that if we commit any mistake, we are forgiven for that. So I'm just zooming it. Yeah. Right. So I will start. You can, you can repeat after continuation by joining hands. Om Ajnana Timrandhasya
Om Ajnana Nivantrasya
Jnana Jnana Shalakaya
Jnana Shalataya
Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha
Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam
Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam
Sthapitam Yena Bhutale
Stapitam Yena Bhutale
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam
Dadati Swapadantikam
Dadati Swapadantikam
Padantikam
Vandeham Shri Guru
Vandeham Shri Guru
Shri Padakamalam
Shrita Padakamalam
Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha
Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha
Vaishnavam Cha
Shri Rupam Sagrajatam
Shri Rupam
Shri Rupam Savijatam
Egana Raghunathanvitam
Sahagana Raghunathavitam
Tam Sajivam
Tam Sajivam
Sadvaitam Savadhutam
Sadvaitam Sadhutam
Parijana Sahitam
Parijana Sahitam
Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Shri Radha Krishna
Sri Radha Krishna
Pada Sahagana
Padasagana
Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya
Lalita Shri Namaskar
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu
He Krishna
Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastute
Radhakanta namastute.
Namastute.
Kanchane Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari.
Ashvanu Sute Devi
Vishpanusrute Devi.
Nami Hari Priye
Pranamami Hari Priye.
Pancha Kalptarubhyascha
Vancha kalpakaruptesya.
Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Nanam papanebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Namo namaha.
Start the prayer to our acharyas, and you can read on the right as well. I will share the slides. You can read it before the next class so that you know what that prayer means actually. Yeah. And then next we do Guru Vanna. So I will talk about Srila Prabhupada in few more minutes later on. But this is the prayer we offer to Srila Prabhupada, who has very kindly brought all the scriptures back into the human society. Without his mercy, we'll not be able to read Bhagavad Gita with our senses, with our intelligence, with our knowledge. So we have to pray to him to bless us. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale
Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Swaminiti Namine
Amititi Namini.
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Namaste Saraswati
Saraswati
Devi.
Devi.
Gauravani Pracharine
Guruvani Prachani.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Nirvishasirvadi.
Pashyata Deshatarine.
Ashita Deshatarine.
Now the next prayer is to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. It's called Panch Tattva Mantra, and it is considered very auspicious. This mantra can be recited anywhere, whenever you got time, and you get extra blessings from Lord Krishna. So we'll recite this beautiful mantra again. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Rasta Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
And finally, Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama Hare
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 Hare.
And finally, we do pranam prayers. So this may take time in the first session, but you will realize in the next session, by the time, they will be very quick prayers because you will be reciting them in your mind. So anyone want to lead? The leader will read the lines and everyone else will say Jaya. So anyone wants to do on the screen, want to get the blessings from Lord Krishna, want to lead? Yeah.
Let me try.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any that tune or shall I only read it?
Just read them with love and surrender to the holy names, please.
Shri Shri Radhe Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Vrindavan Dham Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Radham Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Navadvipa Dham Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jagannath Puri Dham Ki
Jai.
Ganga Maiya Ki
Jai.
Yamuna Maiya Ki
Jai.
Tulsi
तुलसी
Devi
देवी
Ki
की
Jai.
भक्ति
Bhakti
देवी
Devi Ki
की
Jai.
जय संकीर्तन
Sankirtan Yagna ki
Jai.
Jai. Shall I lead? Next one.
Yeah, you can lead that.
Brihad Mridanga ki
Jai.
Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki
जय
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
जय
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
जय
all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
हरे
Krishna.
All
कृष्णा
glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
हरे
All
कृष्णा
glories to Sri Guru Gaurang and Guru Varanga.
Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Gaura Premananda Hari
Hari Hari.
हरि बोल
Very nice. Thank you. So we have done the prayers and I'm just checking the time so that we can keep track. So this is wonderful. So we have done it on time. Now in my other classes, usually I go through in a very structured manner. So initially it a bit more analytical so that we can understand how the Bhagavad Gita is.
Hello. Sorry, I got disconnected. Has it been finished?
Oh yeah, that's finished. No problem.
Okay.
But beautifully recitation, very well sung. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll look at the Bhagavad Gita as a book itself, how it is structured, what are the key elements, and how it has come into this current shape, which is in front of us now. So there is a bit of some information there, right? So I will just zoom it so that you can see it easily. There's a lot we can do, but I keep it very short and sweet so that everyone can easily follow it. Everyone okay with English? If has anyone issues with English, anyone? All okay?
Yeah, all okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
English, Hindi.
The topics will cover is what is Bhagavad Gita, what is actually the meaning of Bhagavad Gita, who spoke. I think a lot of you already know where it was spoken, author of Bhagavad Gita, how many chapters it has, how many shlokas it has, why it is important to learn, understand Bhagavad Gita, how Gita can help us in our life, and what are the key topics in Bhagavad Gita. The characters, I think most of you already know. So in front of us is a very great personality, is a divine personality, Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita and a lot of other scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam and a lot of our Upanishads, they have been actually translated by Srila Prabhupada. Now the Bhagavad Gita which we are reading, you can Google it when you get some time. It's the site called Vedabase. It's a one single word. If you have access to your computers or mobile phones, you can Google Vedabase. Pushkar can put a link in the chat for some of you so that it's easier. So he's the founder Acharya of ISKCON, which is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Most of you already know him. And he's the one who actually brought it back to us. And it's a very lovely story, which we'll cover later on. If you read his autobiography or just pull it on YouTube in your free time, just type in Srila Prabhupada and just listen. It's like 5-10 minutes long YouTube movies. You will be amazed to see what he has done. So he's not a normal living entity. He's a divine person. His lifespan. Sorry, I have to. It's frozen. Let me unshare and share again.
No, we can hear you and see the screen as well, Prabhuji.
Okay, my screen was frozen. The
Sure.
lights were frozen, so I'm just. Yeah. Yes, so it's working now. Apologies. So a brief history is that Srila Prabhupada, he left for America when he in the 1865. No, 1965. And he was a well-known author in India, but in America, no one knew him. He went with just 4 rupees in his pocket, and he knew no one in America. There's a nice story. He wanted to get Bhagavad Gita published in America, and he went to Macmillan Press Center. So the Macmillan Press Center has, by that time, already published other religious books like Bible, Quran, and others. And they were looking for something about Hinduism. So they asked one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada that, have you got something about Hinduism? So disciple of Srila Prabhupada said, yes, we got a Bhagavad Gita, the scripture, and it has been actually recently translated by our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. So the book at that time, Bhagavad Gita, was really, really long, and their requirement was that it has to be within 400-500 pages only. So they asked him to cut down from like 1,000 pages to 400 pages, which we'll read in Bhagavad Gita shortly in the introduction sector. So as you can see, ISKCON was founded in 1966 in New York City by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A.C. stands for Abhaya and C stands for Charan. So his real name was Abhay Charan De, but because he's the Bhaktivedanta, his title is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So there's some delay in the slides, so just. ISKCON. Yeah. Bhaktivedanta is a title that was given to him. And
So what does this Srila mean, Prabhuji?
Srila means Acharya, basically. Srila,
Okay.
Srila means Acharya.
Okay. Thank you.
Srila. Because Srila Prabhupada is a Bengali. He was born in West Bengal. So that's why it's called Srila. In our ISKCON, we call all the spiritual masters Srila as a respect, or divine grace, DG, his or her. Sorry, I'm getting this frozen again and again. I will share again. Sorry.
Prabhuji, maybe we all can switch off our video so that your speed is okay, because sometimes Zoom behaves a little weird if everybody's video is on in a slow connection.
Yeah, I think what I realized in the last session that If I zoom it a bit more, then it hangs. If I don't, then it works fine. But this
Or you can read us the slides, and that will be also fine.
fine now. Okay, it should work now.
Yeah.
It should work now. There shouldn't be any problem. You can keep your videos on. It sorted now, in my view. If you can't see the text properly, you just please let me know so that you can follow me. So before we go further, in our Sanatan Dharma, we got Vedic scriptures, and they come via two routes, Shruti and Smriti.
So, only for this slide, can you go to a slideshow?
No, that's where it becomes, it hangs.
Okay.
If I go to slideshow, it hangs. That's the problem. You come here, yeah, come here. Come closer, yeah, you can see it easily. Yeah. So Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means which is based on hearing simply.
Yeah.
So all our Vedas, they have 4 parts: Samhitas, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, and Upanishads. They're all Shruti. So for example, they are directly coming from, so like you are hearing me, and if you write it, that's Shruti. So if whatever I'm saying, if you write it down, that becomes Shruti. The second part is Smriti, which is based on memory. So for example, if you hear me now, you go back and remember what I said, and you write it, that becomes Smriti. So that's a very, crude understanding of Shruti and Smriti. Now, the reason I'm saying or sharing this is because I want to show you where the Bhagavad Gita sits in this. So Bhagavad Gita is a Smriti category, right? It is part of Mahabharata, which is one of the great epic we got, like Ramayana. And in the 6th Parva, you can say 6th canto or 6th kanda or 6th chapter, whatever easy for you to understand. In that section, chapter 25 to 42 is actually Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is actually part of Mahabharata, but because it's so powerful, directly spoken by Lord Krishna, that's why it has been considered as a Gita Upanishad. So that was the only thing. Don't worry, so many details there. Don't worry about that. Right, so we'll go to introduction now. As I mentioned, this is the most precious jewel of Hindu literature. Bhagavad means Supreme Lord. Gita means song. So it is also called the Song of God, the sacred song of God. Why? Because Lord Krishna sung this on the battlefield to Arjuna. How many years ago? Anyone remembers? 5,000 years ago. Right. But we'll read in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita that actually the last known fact is that it was spoken to sun god Vivaswan about 120 million. And again is spoken to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. Why? Because Arjuna became confused after seeing his relatives on the other side of the battle, and he was very unwilling to fight because of bodily conception of life, that we are just this body. And to bring him out of this compassionate, miserable situation, Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita again 5,000 years ago. Now, Bhagavad Gita is not something like a book which has been just written 500 years ago or 200 years ago. It is coming from time immemorial. The first speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna himself, because everything comes from Krishna. And who is the first living entity on this planet?
Brahma.
Lord Brahma. So the first person who was born on this material, in this material world, was Lord Brahma. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita and Vedas to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma spoke all these scriptures to his son Narada, who is a very, very elevated personality, divine. And you can see it is flowing down. So like in our family, you may have certain customs, right? So you, for example, any rituals, any prayers, you're passing those to your family, your children's, and your children's are then passing on to their children's. So the beauty of that is the original message is not diluted. Yeah. So the original message remains exactly the same as it was spoken to us by the very first person. So like this, it is coming from the known history, and the last speaker or the disciple in that succession is Srila Prabhupada. You can see number 32 is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So he's the latest giver of that knowledge through his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the list goes on like that. On the right-hand side, you can see all these pictures. You can't probably see them properly, but you can see this Krishna is at the top, and then he spoke to Brahma, then Narada, then Vyasa, and then Madhava, and all that. Please feel free to tell me if I'm speaking too fast or sharing information too fast, because it's important we do not lose any of this. This may be the only opportunity in our lifetime to understand the message of the Lord. So we have to take it very seriously and grab this with both hands. Right.
So, are we able to ask now?
Yes, so there are two options. I think it's first session. Yes, please ask, because we have two options. Either we put the questions in the chat or we can ask. But I think please ask, because I think it's the first session and it will be good to know what queries you have. Yeah, please ask.
Okay, so I did not understand a bit where we are saying Krishna said the Bhagavad Gita, or he recited to Arjun. So was Arjun not the first person? Was it Brahma the first person Bhagwan recited?
Very nice question. Very nice question. So Bhagavad Gita is not, Bhagavad Gita is the eternal teaching. It's not a book that suddenly came 5,000 years ago. So as I mentioned earlier, the very first living entity in the material world is Lord Brahma. Right? So he was the first receiver of this knowledge.
Okay.
And then Brahmaji told that knowledge to his son Narada.
Right.
And he told it to his disciple, Maharshi Vedvyas.
Okay.
So it's not the first time the Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna on the battlefield. It wasn't the first time.
Right.
It has been coming through various billions of centuries. Now, I think the other question you have not asked, but is relevant here, is that when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, there was a specific situation there. Kauravas and Pandavas were fighting.
Yes.
Now, when Lord spoke it to Lord Brahma, the Kauravas and Pandavas were not there. How Bhagavad Gita is different. So this point is important to understand. The settings may change, right? But the message remains the same. So
okay,
you can understand, you can apply it to any age, any situation. The message will not change. The people may change, the eras may change, the geography may change, but the message is unchanged. It's eternal message. And I will tell you later on in this introduction why it is so. Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Wonderful. Very nice question. Asking questions is very, very important. And I say no question is a silly question when you are talking about the Lord.
Okay, thank you.
Never think, am I asking a question which is silly? No, never. Okay, next. We'll digest this information slowly so that we don't lose anything. Now, related to this disciplic succession, parampara, as we call it, I'm now showing you this one. Your question was quite relevant to this. So Lord Krishna, the last known fact in the human history, in our scriptures, is that Bhagavad Gita was spoken to sun god Vivaswan. Sun god is a personality, the post. The name of the sun god which we have currently in our lifetime is Vivaswan. Vivaswan, sun god, spoke to Manu. That Bhagavad Gita message was given to Manu. Manu is father of mankind, as most of you may have heard of, right? Because there is a book called Manu Samhita, which is basically a manual for living entities. And then Manu spoke Bhagavad Gita to his son Ikshvaku. That is high. It is coming through disciplic succession. Whenever it is lost, or the message is lost, it comes back and gives the same message to the human society. So the latest known fact is Arjuna was the last receiver. He was a devotee of Krishna. He was a friend of Krishna. And it is a quality, it is qualification we need. So for example, if you want to go to an engineering university or a medical university, you need to gain enough grades, A levels or whatever. Similarly, to become a devotee, you need to have some qualities. And the very first quality is you need to be a devotee of Krishna. I will skip the next part of this, Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta, because that's a bit of more in depth, which we'll cover anyway in the Bhagavad Gita sessions later. Then next is where Bhagavad Gita was spoken. That was in India, a place called Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is in the state of Haryana. Most of you may know that. It is about 100 kilometers north of Delhi. Now we'll go into the structure of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is divided into 18 chapters, and it has exactly 700 verses. If we divide 18 chapters into 3 sections, the first 6 chapters discuss about the Karma Yoga. Now, I will explain a bit here. Karma Yoga is made up of 2 words. Yoga means linking, right? Or unite. So who are we trying to unite with? Krishna. So yoga means linking up with Krishna. And karma means activity. How do we perform our activities which can link us to Krishna, take us closer to Krishna? That's the subject matter of the first 6 chapters called Karma Yoga. The last 6 chapters are called Jnana Yoga. How through our body, mind, and intelligence we can connect with Krishna. So basically what that means, we are performing activities, right? So for example, if people are intelligent, they understand the purpose of life, right? So like meat eating is prohibited for a human being, ideally. So having that knowledge that we should eat meat, it is also part of Jnana Yoga, because we become purer by following the regulative principles of not eating meat, and that takes us closer to Krishna. That's how we can unite, how we perform our activities in knowledge of Krishna. That is called Jnana Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters, they are called Bhakti Yoga. So why they are in the middle? Why the Bhakti Yoga is in the middle? A very simple analogy is that if you like to eat sandwiches, you will pick a sandwich which has the best filling in it. The quality of your sandwich or your love for sandwich It's based on the feeling inside it. Yoga is the sweetest, right? And without the other meaning is without bhakti, karma yoga and jnana yoga have no real meaning. Because without bhakti, we cannot connect with the Lord. There are so many examples. Although Krishna gives us all the paths, he says you can follow karma yoga, you can follow jnana yoga, you can follow bhakti yoga. They are all appropriate paths. But he discusses in various chapters that bhakti yoga is the best. Chapter 5, he says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana. That the best yogi is who? He remembers me and worships with love and devotion. We'll discuss that in more detail as we go through the chapters. Now, a bit more fact here. Gita is also called Yoga Shastra because everything is a yoga, right? Karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. And the importance of yoga word I have just summarized here. Yoga word appears 78 times in Bhagavad Gita. And in 15 of the 18 chapters. So which only chapter 1, 15, 18, they do not have the word yoga. But that doesn't mean they are not yoga. I'm just saying that yoga word has been given so much importance by Krishna. And there are some other variants of yoga word, yogi and yukta. If we count all of those, basically 155 times the word yoga appears in Bhagavad Gita. So out of 700, if you just roughly calculate, 20% of the verses have the word yoga or its related form. That is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita, that how we can unite with the Lord. This is the process. This is the breakdown of verses. Now, 4 people have spoken in the Bhagavad Gita: Lord Krishna, Arjuna, Sanjaya, and Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, you all know that he is the father of Kauravas and he is the king of Hastinapur. Sanjaya is reciting, okay, there is a nice story here. Sanjaya is his charioteer, you can say that. Now, Dhritarashtra is blind. Everyone knows that. Anyone who does not know Dhritarashtra was blind, please, you can react on the screen. Everyone knows that he was a blind person.
Yes. Yes.
You know that, yeah.
Yes, you didn't.
You did.
Yeah. So Dhritarashtra cannot see. There is a nice story here from our other scriptures that he wanted to see the battle between the Pandavas and Kauravas. Now, he's in his palace with Sanjaya. Initially, actually, Ved Vyas wanted to give the divine eyes to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra was so not only physically blind, but also spiritually blind. So he knew that his sons will be killed. And he could not muster enough courage to see the fight. So that's why he said, please give Sanjaya the divine eyes so that he can describe the fight for me. So overall, Krishna has spoken 575 verses, Arjuna 83, Sanjaya 41, and Dhritarashtra only 1. Also, a key fact there is Arjuna has been called with 20 other names in Bhagavad Gita, like Dhananjaya, Budaki, Parantapa, Mahabhav, and Krishna has been also addressed by Arjuna with 33 other names, like Keshava, Madhava, Madhusudana, etc. We'll go through that in detail. We'll understand the significance why they have been addressing each other with different names, not just saying Arjuna and Krishna. this is what I was saying. Dhritarashtra was the blind king of Kuru kingdom, and Kunja was the charioteer. And the first one who narrated the Bhagavad Gita other than Sri Krishna himself to Dhritarashtra. So why Bhagavad Gita is important to learn? We have to understand we are very fortunate to have human form of life, because there are so many other living entities on this planet, animals, insects, birds. They haven't got that facility which we have been given by Krishna, which is the intelligence. They also have consciousness. We also have consciousness. They also do 4 things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Basically, if we summarize the activities, these are the only 4 things people do: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The only thing that differentiates us from animals is our devotional service, our intelligence to serve. So if we do not take to devotional service and just spend our lifetime eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, we are actually no better than an animal. So we have to uplift ourselves to a level to realize the real purpose of human form of life. Lord Brahma's one day is 8.6 billion years of human life years. 8.6 billions. Lord Brahma's one day is equivalent to our 8.6 billion years. But even he has to die. Lord Brahma is a position, it's not a person. He lives for 100 years only. Not our 100 years, his 100 years. And when I tell people what that 100 years equivalent to is, they just get. Anyone remembers the lifespan of Lord Brahma in our number of years? Any guesses from anyone? Vashi. You have an answer?
860 billion.
1 trillion.
1 trillion.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
1 trillion. Somebody.
Prabhuji, if I can say that, we have 4 yugs.
Yeah.
And basically, the 4 yugs, Brahma lives for 1,000. So what one Brahman is 4 yugs, and Brahma lives for 1,000 yugs. So that is 1,000 times the 4 yugs worth of years, which comes to about 3 trillion years.
3 trillion.
Okay. Well, it's
and
not.
3 trillion and 40 billion is the last I calculated.
Yeah, it's close to this. I think it's not bad. Anyone else have any other numbers to share?
3 trillion.
Well, you are not far, but I think it is 311 trillion years and 40 billion years.
Okay, 40 billion, that's right, yes. 311.
311.04 trillion years. So that means Lord Brahma's one day is 1,000 ages of 4 yugas.
Yeah.
So 4 yugas times 1,000 is 1 day of Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma's lifespan is 311.04 trillion years. And even he has to leave the body. So just look at ourselves. After 40 or 50, we are done pretty much. If we're lucky, maybe 60, 65, 70, and that's it. So we have to make sure we we maximize this human form of life, not waste even a single second. We have to look after our family, yes, we have to do our jobs, we have to do our prescribed duties, right? But that's not the only purpose of our life. We have to look beyond. We have to look after our physical body, but we also have to look after our soul, which is the most important thing in our life. And there are a lot of verses in Bhagavad Gita which talk about how we can maximize the potential of our human form of life, how we can avoid ourselves falling to the lower forms of life like dogs, cats. We have to remember even the dogs, cats, insects, lizards, aquatics, they're all soul effectively. But because they have not been very careful about their human form of life in their previous births, they have ended up in the lower forms of life. They were also humans at some point. The dogs we may have in our house, cats, they were humans at some point. But because they have not carefully used their human form of life, they have ended up in the lower forms of life. So purpose of our human form of life, why Gita is important to understand, because Bhagavad Gita actually helps us to understand the real purpose of life, which is to revive our forgotten relationship with the Lord Krishna. It gives us the method, the encouragement, the knowledge to connect ourselves with Krishna and get out of this material world. In the material world, we are taking birth. We take birth, we become highly qualified, we end up rich man, rich woman. We die, we take birth again, and then start again from nursery. And then we do it again. So that's not a sign of intelligence. We have no control on where we are, who we are now, but we do have quite a good control on what we can be in our next life, or we go back to Krishna. Okay. So moving on quickly. Now I want to share actually structure of Bhagavad Gita quickly. Sorry, just give me a second. Very slow screen. Try. The Bhagavad Gita contents. Anyway, I can just do that. So Bhagavad Gita has a book. If you have it in front, you can see the index there. So it has preface, and then it has introduction. Now preface, as we know, preface actually gives the background why Bhagavad Gita was written. It talks about the fight between the two brothers, Kauravas and Pandavas. An introduction is actually gives the contents of the book itself. So you have heard of, if you read a novel, you will have things like a preamble, you will have things like foreword. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita has preface, which talks about the background, why Bhagavad Gita was written, and introduction, which talks about a lot of things. So how Bhagavad Gita should be understood is very important for us to understand as well. Bhagavad Gita should be taken in the spirit of devotion, not questioning it, first of all. The other thing is, one should not think that if he has understood or read Bhagavad Gita quite well, he is equal to Krishna. No, there is no way. Krishna, a lot of people think he was the son of Devaki and foster son of Yashoda Mata. But Krishna is not an ordinary personality like us. He is the Supreme Lord. He appears. He does not take birth. He appears. Without any doubt, one should accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one should read Bhagavad Gita in a submissive state. If we read Bhagavad Gita in a challenging way, that how is it possible that Krishna spoke it to Arjuna 5,000 years ago, and then he also spoke it to Lord Brahma millions of years ago? How is it possible? And it is also a question Arjuna asks Krishna in the chapter number 4. So there is nothing to guess. Everything is crystal clear in Bhagavad Gita. So purpose of Bhagavad Gita, as I mentioned before, the purpose is to deliver the mankind from the essence of material existence. We don't want to be here forever. We want to be back to Krishna. Because in the material world, we can never avoid 4 problems: birth, death, old age, and disease. We have a very famous example recently of Michael Jackson, just 10 years ago. He appointed 50 doctors who will look after everything every day for him: his food, his blood pressure, his clothes, everything, because he wanted to live for 150 years. And what the age he died? Anyone remembers how old was he when he died? Yeah,
50
years.
45.
Yeah. So we don't want to be here like to suffer and suffer and suffer. But its choice is ours. Krishna gives us the choice. It does not actually dominate our desires. He gives us full freedom, limited freedom, we call it, minute freedom, we call it. But if we misuse that minute freedom, utilize our life in sense gratification, and not use it to link up with the Lord, will have problems coming up in this life and future lives. So people who are interested in understanding the human form of the purpose of human form of life, how to go back to Godhead, Bhagavad Gita is written for such people. Like some of you, a lot of you actually said that you have tried to read Bhagavad Gita a lot of times. You could never finish it, right? Some of you said you want to understand Bhagavad Gita in a more systematic manner. And I can see why you are trying to do that, because it is your previous karma. It's not your accidental desire. It's your previous karma which have brought you to this nice thinking that I need to connect with the Lord. And Krishna has blessed you with this facility that you can sit in your home, you can come to the temple, talk about Krishna, understand about Krishna, and most importantly, implement the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in your daily life. A lot of people say, when I will be 60, 65, that's the time I will read Bhagavad Gita, right? But does anyone know they will be alive in 2 minutes' time? No. No one can say anything. So we plan for 30, 40 years, and we don't even know if we can survive 30 minutes. So that is, not a good sign of intelligence. Good sign of intelligence is that we utilize the material efforts in the services of the Lord. So for example, I have this laptop. People might use this laptop to see latest movie, right? I sometimes also give a perspective on the latest movies, because we need to understand what's happening in the society. A lot of movies accidents, etc. I also talk about there was a train accident in India where 700 people died. So I also, people say, are all those 700 people the most sinful people? Right? A lot of questions come. Why the people died? There's a lot of things Bhagavad Gita tells us about. Very easy to interpret what's happening. Right? So the movie like Kerala Story or some movie I heard where a young lady was literally, motivated to from Hindu culture to become a meat eater, sorry. And even eventually she was convinced to accept it. Right. A lot of topics, the transgender thing and all that, LBGTQ, they're all very well explained in Bhagavad Gita. So it's, and we have to understand those concepts because it affects us, etc. Carry on. So we know the purpose of Gita, which aligns with our understanding and our efforts, which we're doing now, right? So Lord Krishna appears, he says in chapter 4, he talks about 2 verses. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam dharanathaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So why does Krishna descends? For example, if you are a CEO of a company, right, you have huge workforce. If you have to do something, you will just pick up the phone and say, guys, go there and do it. Why Krishna comes himself? He owns everything, he is the Supreme Lord. Why does he come? So he says, Paritranaya sadhunam, to deliver the pious. So if you look at Lord Rama, recently we had a lot of, positivity in the atmosphere everywhere. Lord Ram's Janmabhoomi temple was inaugurated. And we are very fortunate to see that in our lifetime. It's an amazing event. We are very, very blessed that Lord Rama is always here. It doesn't mean that he wasn't there. But any events like this, they are significant because anything that glorifies Lord's name is very, very important. So Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam, to deliver the pious. So Lord Ram came, he killed all the Rakshasas. Krishna came, he killed all the mischievous people, the Kauravas, the Shishupal, Kansa and all that. Second thing he says, Vinashaya cha dushkratam, which is what he did, to kill the miscreants. And the third important thing, Dharm sansarpanathai, to establish the religion. Right? So why does he come? Just to please his devotees. Otherwise, he has no need to come. He can just unswitch, unplug, right? He's sitting inside our heart. He can straight away stop the supply. Say, guys, you're done. No more time, no more breaths left. He can straight away switch off our life support system. But he simply comes to please his devotees like he did when he pleased all the Brajvasis, right? Lord Rama pleased Ayodhyavasis. Lord Nrsimhadev pleased Prahlad Maharaj. And see the beauty of devotion. Lord Nrsimhadev just came to protect only one devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. Right? So if you become a devotee, you are protected. You may have a lot of insurance policies. They can give you money. But Krishna's insurance policy is eternal. It will stay with you in this life, next life, forever. So let's take Krishna's insurance policy by becoming his devotee. Now we're moving into the very important things. Introduction of the Bhagavad Gita. I'm talking about the introduction elements, which is you can read in Bhagavad Gita when you get free time. I'm just picking the key concepts from that because the introduction is very, very long section in Bhagavad Gita. Topics of Bhagavad Gita are 5. And if you look at this, you will see there is nothing else left. So Krishna, Ishvara, topic 1. Number 2 topic is Jiva. We are all Jiva. living entity. Number 3 is material nature, prakriti. Number 4 is kal, time. And number 5 is karma, activity. So the first 4 are eternal thing. They are always existing. They never disappear. Ishvara is eternal. We are eternal as well. In chapter 2, when we'll read the qualities of soul, you will be amazed to see how powerful we are, actually. But we are not realizing it. Like Lord Hanuman, Jamvanji told him about his power. Of course, that was a Leela, right? But when after the Kishkinda chapter, when the bridge was going to be built, or Hanumanji was going to Sita Mata in Ashok Vatika, Hanumanji didn't know any of his powers until that point. So Jamvanji then reminded him that you are Anjani Putra. You are a part of Lord Shiva. You are a part of Lord Pavandev. Then he realized, and he then got all his powers, which were already there, right? Just from that, actually, Ashok Vatika, Vatican city is actually named after Ashok Vatika. A lot of people don't know. Vatican city is named after Ashok Vatika. And there's so many other beautiful things which we'll share as we go along. Karma is the only activity which is not eternal. So our karmas, they stay with us temporarily. And whatever we are today, intelligent, tall, smart, strong, is because of our previous karmas. So it's like a balance, bank balance. So you can assume you have a bank balance of 5 things: beauty, intelligence, fame, wealth, and power. Depending on your karmas, you get certain bank balance of that. And in the next life, you get that. So why people are born? Someone is born as a monarch. Someone is born as a beggar. Simply karmas. So we have the power to change karmas. This is the planet. Planet Earth is the only place where you can create karmas. You cannot create karmas in heaven, heavenly planets. You cannot create karmas in the demonic planets. So you are in the most fortunate position, actually. So we shouldn't lose it. Okay, moving on. We are nearly there. I know introduction is always very, but it's important. It's so many beautiful things. Now, just a bit of flavor there. Ishvara is eternal. Supreme Lord Krishna is eternal. He is the controller. We are also eternal, but we are controlled. We have the same qualities. As we can see, if there is a gold mine, a particle of gold will have the same quality as the entire gold mine, but it will never be equal to the gold mine. Similarly, a drop of ocean will have the same qualities as the entire ocean. When it comes to the quantity, a drop of ocean has no significance in front of ocean. So we are like that. But we have to remember we have the quality, but we do not have quantity. So Lord Brahma, for example, has almost 50% of Lord Krishna's quality. Lord Vishnu has 60 of 64 qualities. Krishna has 64 qualities in full. Lord Vishnu, who is part of Krishna, has 60 qualities. Lord Shiva has 55 qualities. Just to give you some reference here. And if we talk about ourselves, I'm not sure how many we'll have of those 64. Really, we don't want to see the result.
-5.
Even that looks good. Right. So we are controlled. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So we have to realize that we are very, very powerful souls. As long as we are under the protection of Krishna. If we become a devotee of Maya, Prakriti, then we'll be under the clutches of Maya. Right? So material nature is also called inferior nature of inferior energy of the Lord. Lord Krishna has three types of energy: superior energy, inferior energy, and marginal energy. The superior energy is the internal energy of the Lord, spiritual energy. Inferior energy, as you know, is the Prakriti, the material nature, the objects we see around us, the plants, the soil, etc. But the marginal energy, anyone knows? Anyone has seen any marginal energy of the Lord?
Santo, Brother.
Sorry?
Someone is saying a sant, or the sant, sadhu sant.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Have you seen marginal energy of the Lord?
No.
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 Okay. Can you see yourself on Zoom?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You are the marginal energy of the Lord. So marginal energy means the energy sits between the two. So you have at the highest level the spiritual energy of Krishna, and you have at the lowest level the inferior energy of the Krishna, the dead matter basically, or the matter. In between that is the marginal energy. We are marginal energy. Why? Because our body is made up of matter, but we have a soul which is spiritual. So we are called marginal because we have the power to go in any direction. If we act intelligently and serve the Lord, we can go back to the spiritual energy. But if we do not act properly, then we can become like a material nature, because we're not using our consciousness, intelligence properly. So just remember, we are all marginal energy of the Lord, because our body is material, but our soul is right. Okay, that's good. I think some of you knew it, but maybe with time you have forgotten. That's why we need to read Bhagavad Gita more and more. Okay, right. Next, fourth one is Kala, time. Time is eternal, it never stops, right? And finally, karma, as we discussed. Karma is what? Our activities. And we'll read about modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance later on, because that's a heavy topic. So we are nearly getting to the end, just a few more slides. I know we are exceeding, but I will skip this slide as well. And yeah, this is what I was saying, the different energies of the Lord, but I actually gave you a much better definition of the energy of the Lord: internal, external, or superior, inferior, and marginal. Just remember, we are marginal energy of the Lord. This is a heavy slide, but this shows 24 elements in chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, and how this material world is made up of. So we have 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. We have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. So I asked in the last class how many senses we got. Someone said 6. Do you agree? But someone said we have a 6th sense. Right. So we have
6 is the extra sensory.
Yes.
The 5 is more important and more applicable.
Yeah. So that is just people say because they don't know actually what is the reality. So we got 5 knowledge acquiring senses through which we acquire knowledge, and we got 5 working senses through which we work. And there's nothing else. You cannot think of anything left. And these 10 senses are focusing on sense objects. So our eyes are always looking for beautiful forms, movies. Our nose is always trying to smell something nice. Our ears are always thinking about, oh, which is the new song, when it's going to release, rather than bhajans. That's a misuse, right? Skin, we are always trying to touch. And tongue, we are always trying to taste. Taste prasad, right? A lot of people don't think about prasad, right? They say it's a useless thing, right? No taste, not spicy, not tasty, right? Just go to McDonald's and have some, nice hot food, right? That's a misuse. So 10 senses focusing on 5 sense objects, and that is the reason of fall down. If we not used properly in the service of the Lord, and then the last 4 are mind, intelligence, false ego, and 24th is unmanifested. So I gave you the full understanding of this material world, how it is made up of. There's nothing else left. Now, as a science student, because I forgot to tell you, I'm a civil engineer by background, and I did read Mendeley's periodic table. People are still trying to find new elements. They think nitrogen, oxygen, calcium, all that stuff. But that's not the material world is made up of. They are part of some of these things. For example, earth. Some of those elements will be part of earth. Some of those will be part of air. Some of those will be part of water, fire, hydrogen, oxygen, and all that. But this is a quick summary of how this material world is made up of. And we'll go in more detail in chapter 13 about this. Last 2 slides. I want to show you, some of you live in Coulston, some of you live in somewhere in UK. Globally, where do you live? This slide shows that. So I hope you all can see where do you live in these planets. Yeah. The planet Earth. Yeah, everyone lives here.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But we can live on any planet. We can live on sun, we can live on moon, we can live on Swargloka. I would recommend you don't think about living any of the lower planetary systems. Right. Don't think about going home because it's hell. But that's not in our control. If do not act intelligently, we can fall there. And we can fall into hellish planets. I will also share at some point how you can reach the hellish planets, what activities you can do. Anyone interested to go there? No.
So no was there.
Right. Well, Karun Puran has a very vivid description of what is there. So if you get time, read Garud Puran, you will know exactly what is there. At least I recommend that because that can save us performing some abominable activities. We'll not be able to do that. Okay. I will skip that as well. It's short of time. I will show you at some point the spiritual world, the cities in the spiritual world as well. And I'm just skipping that. So I exceeded time by 7 minutes. Any questions from anyone final before we close? Pushkar, are there any questions?
No.
No,
Okay.
no one's.
Got very intelligent people around. That's really good. My life is much easier then.
We are all learning.
Hare Krishna, Manoranjan ji. I had a question. Of course, thanks for today's session. Very, enlightening and jagrukta jag gayi वापस से इसे सुन के. Just wanted to know how many weeks session in total. Do you see this will require us to, at least go through Bhagavad Gita end to end?
Okay. Well, it's a tricky question in the sense that it depends on So when we start chapter 1 next week, for example, go verse by verse. Now people ask a lot of questions sometimes. If people ask a lot of questions, then it will be slow progress. So for example, in one of the batches, we finished Bhagavad Gita in about 7 months, but there is another batch on the extreme side that's going on for. So it depends. If it is up to you. If you have a lot of questions, because the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita is not just finish it. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to read Bhagavad Gita's purpose is that we grasp maximum we can.
No, I agree. No, thank you. That's helpful because I agree. Purpose is to read, understand, share the knowledge, and take it away or keep it in our heart and mind. So that's fine. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And also, mind is a greedy thing. We have got you, Prabhuji. So you are the one we can question and learn more. Who knows? Like we are saying about the Kala, we may not get another opportunity for some time, or maybe never. So we become like a lalachi to ask a question which has been lingering for so many months or years or all our life. And this is the time we can get to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. And there will be a lot of questions. You won't believe there is another group I have. They have so many questions, and all very, very excellent questions, to be honest. Very good question. There is one kids group as well, actually. The kids have been with me for like 5 years.
Wow.
And they have not, they attend the class, they leave anything else just to attend the class. And I tell you, if you listen to them, they are so confident, so knowledgeable. They can tell you the meaning of the verse now. They are so expert.
Amazing.
So, and we all have that quality intelligence as well. But Pankaj will go through that. If we think we should move quicker, we can do that because Zoom in very detail all the verses.
Sure.
When this call is not available, can on Zoom then?
Yeah, well, I think we got how many people on the Zoom? I think we got 13 attendees on Zoom. And in the temple, we got 4, 5. So yeah, we can do mix and match.
Only because many times we have for the whole.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think a lot of people are fed up of Zoom. Teams and Zoom has become so frustrating. People are not able to see each other, right?
Yeah.
And face-to-face becomes much easier. Of course, some people are not based around. They are quite far, Midlands and others. So it's understandable they can join on Zoom. But yeah, we can do that if there is any particular program or anything. Okay. So no more questions then. Please give me your honest feedback if you follow the slides. Yes, Raj. Yes.
Are we recording this? Is the recording available if
Yes, the
we want to share it with you?
Yes, so I think there are 2 ways. One is you can connect with me on my page, Manoranjana Vrajeswara. You can access the full recording there. If you are on Facebook, if you're not, then we'll be able to share the recording in some other form. So if everyone okay with the Facebook option, maybe not everyone, then, right?
You are on Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share in the group the Facebook page link. You can join me on that and access this recording. But from the next class, we can actually, because that's where we'll start in chapter 1. We'll also start recording this in addition to that. And
recording is very useful because sometimes you're not following the trend. But then if you look at it at a later stage, you can follow it a little bit better due to various constraints and attention spans and
fully. Yeah. Okay. We'll record that from the next class and we'll share the link of that recording. So in case you miss it because of some personal situation, you can access it and go through, rather than come blank in the next class and, you know, struggle with understanding what happened last time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
thank you so much, Prabhuji, for today's first. And I do apologize. I wasn't there to greet you. Just couldn't, for a reason, I couldn't make it. But I think Supriya ji was
she was here before.
Requested, and she was 15 minutes earlier. I requested, and I will have to pay her back my making her and ordering her my duties. Many, many thanks.
No problem. So
thank you everybody for
mantra together.
making the first session so beautiful and so inspiring that I wouldn't want to miss it myself, not for a single second.
Let's carry on this journey and get the blessings of the Lord. So we'll close the session by chanting Mahamantra. And please do chant this Mahamantra. I recommend you, and I will tell you in the next class why it is so important. So joining our hands together, Hare, together, we can chant together. Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Rama,
Hare Rama.
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you all. See you all next week.
Thank
Till
you.
then, do read Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.